everyone, welcome back to Tomorrow by Today, you guys. It's your girl, Sydney Sadek, and today on the show, we are talking about all things Outer Banks, you guys, with the one and only breakout star of the show, Madelyn Cline. We are so excited to have Madelyn joining us today. It is no secret she plays the iconic role of Sarah Cameron and is a total fan favorite. We're going to be talking all about the show today and getting all of your questions answered about all things season 2. This was definitely the juiciest and most intense season yet. And there's so much to unpack and to get to. So when you guys have questions for Madelyn, all you have to do is hit that little question mark widget at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And we're going to be putting them up on the screen to incorporate throughout the conversation as we go. So super excited about that. And we cannot wait to have Madelyn join us here. And we're going to be getting to all of the topics that you guys want to get to. I know that I was absolutely obsessed with this season. Season 1, obviously amazing, but season 2, it was like every single episode, you did not know what was going to happen next. So it definitely kept us all on our toes. And especially throughout this pandemic, to have something so entertaining that we could all look to throughout this really hard time was something that I think really touched a lot of people. So we're excited about this. I know so many of you guys are major fans of the show. We're going to connect with Madelyn right now. Let's get this started. I know Madelyn's joining us from Europe. She's filming a movie right now. But now we're going to get to all of your Outer Banks questions right here. Here we go. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, Madelyn. Thanks so much for joining us on Tomorrow by Today. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness, of course. I mean, Sarah, I've been watching a lot of you lately. I feel like I could just keep rewatching season 2 of Outer Banks constantly, and the fans are obsessed with you. What has it been like to see the reactions of all the fans since season 2 hit?
It's been amazing. It's been really cool. I mean, it's crazy because it feels like, you know, we did it the first time and, you know, people had such a positive reaction for the first season. And so there's a little part of you that's like, okay, so it worked season 1. Is it going to work season 2? And it feels like overall the reaction has been overwhelmingly positive and really, really wonderful. And I feel really grateful.
That's amazing. I mean, every single episode, it's like you didn't know, obviously, what was going to happen next. It was so intense. But this season in particular, it seemed even more physically taxing than even season 1 did. I know that you had to actually pass a swim test in order to get this role. But what else goes into the physicality that comes with playing Sarah Cameron?
I think a lot of it, it's incredibly physical. I think, you know, it's such a fast-paced show. So, there's just a lot of learning on the fly, and we are incredibly involved with all of our stunts. We don't do all of our stunts, but we're always involved. We're always there with our stunt doubles who are incredible. And we're always, you know, trying to, you know, put our input in and just do what we can. And it's just a very hands-on show, which is, it really helps too, because, you know, we have our feet on the ground in a lot of circumstances, and it feels like it's an incredible learning opportunity, you know, for me, feeling like, or for me, I just feel like it's given me so much to learn from. And to just grow from. It's been really great.
Yeah, so how has your life changed since being a part of this show? Because it's truly blown up and been in the top 10 of Netflix ever since it really hit.
It's been wild. It's been really wild. I think the main emotion is gratitude. I'm just really grateful, and I'm really grateful for those who watch the show, for those who love the show as much as we do, and I'm really grateful for the people who I don't know. I feel like it was when we first started filming season 1. It felt like, I think there's always a little bit of imposter syndrome that kind of gets to you, and you're just like, I don't know, like, you know, is it gonna work? Like, are people gonna like it?
Yeah.
And so there's always like that doubt in yourself. you know you have something really special, but are people going to actually like it a lot? And then they did. And then, you know, being able to come back for season 2 and to see the reaction be as positive as it is, it's just been wild. It's been the most incredible experience, and we love the fans, we love our audience, and you know, I think we're all just collectively really, really grateful.
The fans are commenting it's certainly the best show ever. People have really, just especially during this pandemic, I think too, it's really hit a certain place for them because we were all home, obviously, so much, and it was a way for them to stay entertained. I'm curious, Sarah, and I know Sarah, is that this question here, ScoobyDoo, I don't know if you've ever got this before, Madelyn. Has anyone ever compared Outer Banks to ScoobyDoo?
We have. I mean, all throughout season 1, and even season 2, all throughout season 1, we all were like, we're literally riding in the Mystery Machine, and we are Mystery Incorporated, and we would literally pick out people, like, in certain scenes, we'd be like, okay, you know, I don't know, we would compare different characters to who we were in the scene, and it was, I don't know, we always made that comparison. There was never not a day that we were in ScoobyDoo. And so yes, so ScoobyDoo comparisons always. And we've watched ScoobyDoo a few times as a cast, just because why not? And just like we'll sit there and we'll be like, oh, that's John B, or that's Sarah, or that's Kiara, or JJ. I mean, it's very funny.
Do you think there was actual inspiration that was taken from it, or do you feel like it was sort of just a coincidence?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be. I think there are similarities, and obviously the Mystery Machine and the Twinkie are a VW bus, which is very fun. But I don't think I think it might be a bit of a stretch, but I think there are enough similarities where it is a fun comparison to make.
Yeah.
And we obviously have a good time with it. I mean, we joke about it all the time on set.
I love it. The only thing missing is the dog, and maybe that's where season 3 the dog comes into play.
Dog for a while now.
It needs to happen. Well, I know in my family, my brother Mitchell and I, we will unpack every single episode together. It's almost like we have a book club in my family. And I'm curious, with your family and friends, are they asking you as many questions as you get from the fans of the ins and outs of the show?
No.
No.
I don't think so. No, my parents just finished season 1, and they were just like, it was great, good job. You know, like I don't think they're as invested with theories. I think they're just along for the ride, and they're having a good time watching it. But I'm always really curious about fan theories, and I get really excited when I read them, because some of them are really in tune with the story. Like, they've really thought out a lot of these details.
Yeah.
And I'm super fascinated by it. And I love seeing people so invested and so in love with the show and the characters.
They definitely are. And you grew up, Madelyn, in Charleston, where Outer Banks was filmed. What was that like, being able to return to your hometown and have that be the backdrop to your breakthrough role?
It's super special. Like, really, really special. It's funny because when I first moved out to LA, I was like, this is what I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna pursue this, and I'm gonna do it while I'm young. Like, why not? And then, you know, Outer Banks came along and it pulled me right back to Charleston. And I ended up kind of just like, you know, with the people that we shoot with, like with this cast and our crew, like I kind of ended up falling back in love with, I just fell back in love with it. And it was just such a magical, season 1 was such a magical summer. And it was just this really wonderful, serendipitous moment in time that I'll always keep very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, and such a full circle moment too, right? That you just probably can't even predict what happened, but it really did. You went back. Yeah. Of course, the relationship between Sarah and her father, Ward, was just so intense as a viewer. Yeah, Ward. So intense to watch. You know, could you look at Charles Esten, who played that character, the same after filming these scenes that were just so mind-boggling?
It was hard. It was really hard because I mean, Chip is amazing. Chip is so much fun to work with, and he's just like, he's literally like group dad. And it's just really hard. It's really hard to fathom him, being anything but nice ever. And so when he had to, when he really kind of flipped the switch and became like this crazy, like Ward, like really embodied Ward this season, just like sociopathic and terrifying. It was definitely hard, but sometimes, you're in the middle of a scene and you've just been joking before you were rolling. And really hard sometimes because the person across from you as being this wonderful human being, and then all of a sudden, like, they're playing this role, and it's absolutely terrifying. And he's so giving, he's so wonderful in a scene. He's an incredible scene partner, and I've learned so much from him. But there have been some times where, like, we've been we'll look at each other and we'll break, because we have such a good time on and off camera, and we all do with Chip. He's so much fun. He brings such amazing energy to set.
Yeah, he's really incredible. I mean, it's just amazing how he can play. What did you say? What did you say?
He's so talented. Like,
yeah, he really, really is. I know that at the end of most episodes, I honestly got nightmares at night once I went to sleep.
Oh my God.
Did you ever?
No, no. Like, it's just because I spend more time with him as Chip than I ever do as Ward.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things
balance.
Like, yeah.
Totally. What are some of the things that you would do after a long day of shooting to sort of come, back down and clear your mind, because they are so intense?
I have a glass of wine.
Smart.
A glass of wine. I'd watch Below Deck. I would. Sometimes I'd go to the gym after we wrapped, if I had enough time and if my call time wasn't too early. Sometimes, we'd try to hang out and just blow off some steam and, I don't know, watch a movie or something, just anything to kind of get our minds, anything like kind of like mind numbing.
Yeah.
Or just like completely get your mind off of what you had been doing that day. But my glass of wine, honestly.
I hear you. I love, though, that Below Deck is your reality show choice. I mean, you just can't get enough of life on the water.
You honestly can't. It's my absolute favorite. It is my guilty pleasure always. There will never be a time where I'm not trying to find a Below Deck episode that I haven't watched yet.
I love that. How fun is that, you guys? So great. What is something that really sticks out to you, Madelyn, from season 2? Maybe the most memorable scene that you've shot?
I think one of the most memorable scenes that we shot was definitely any of the swamp scenes, and anything in Barbados, honestly. Like, the swamp scenes were difficult because it was cold. And we were all just like, we spent 3 days on the swamp, and the final day we had to get in the water, and we knew it was going to be absolutely freezing because there was frost on the ground, and it was, I don't know, it was December. And we were all just like, oh God, like, and they put us in like skin tone wetsuits, and we finally got in, and we were just like, let's just shoot it, get in and get out. And they had us in hot tubs. Like, after we finished the scene, they'd call cut, and they would zoom us over to these hot tubs, these inflatable hot tubs that they had set up for us. And it was so disgusting. By the end of the day, the water in the hot tubs was like just completely like pitch black. It was disgusting. Swamp water. So those few days stand out in my mind because they were just absolutely insane. And then anything in Barbados, because Barbados was so much fun. It was like, I mean, we were all staying in the same hotel. It was cast, crew, everyone in the same hotel, because it literally felt like being in a college dorm. And I think the one thing that sticks out in my mind was the car chase in Barbados. And just like how crazy it was to have these camera rigs on the car and then going through these crazy narrow streets in Barbados, and just the stunts involved, and being able to have like a front row seat to everything that goes on behind the scenes to make those things happen. It's just like I mean, the process of making TV shows and film is just always incredibly fascinating and mind-blowing to me still.
I'm sure, and especially though with Outer Rings, you can tell that there's just, even when you look at some behind the scenes footage, I don't think we realize as fans how many camera, people are out there, how much really goes into this. It is a big production, but clearly that's what makes it obviously come to life in such an impactful way. When you look, Madelyn, at your character, what would you say are the main similarities and differences between you, yourself as Madelyn, and Sarah Cameron?
I mean, sometimes I feel like Sarah does dumb things. But also so do I. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of discovery happening with Sarah and we're kind of going with her on that journey through that. And I think the same thing with myself. We're both incredibly young and we're still discovering who we are. And I think I feel really lucky because I feel like it's incredibly cathartic to kind of go through this journey. Even though we don't have the same stories, I feel like there are some times where, the scenes for Sarah are incredibly cathartic for Maddie. And it's a really fun, I don't know, there's just a lot to discover and unpack, and I feel very lucky.
That's awesome. And of course, just watching the dynamics of how close you and your castmates really are also off the screen in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something that we all can really sort of tell. What is something that you guys all do together when you're not filming? Because we know right now you're all sort of separated. You're filming a movie in Europe. How do you guys keep the bond alive when the cameras aren't rolling?
I don't know. I mean, last season we would always obviously hang out. I mean, we would do literally whatever. We'd go grab dinner. We would go out. We would hang out at, whoever's apartment and, watch movies. We watch fights. I mean, literally anything. And the season 2 is obviously a little different because of COVID. Like, obviously we tried to hang out when we could, but, we tried to stay as safe as we possibly could.
Yeah.
And so, but beyond that, I think, we're just, what I really love about the bond is, whether or not we're able to, constantly be together or not, like, we're all really incredibly supportive of each other, and, we really love each other, and we try to hang out and see each other when we can. And, right now, like, we're all kind of off doing our own things, and we're all working. And I mean, I think what's really wonderful about it is, even though we can't necessarily be together, we're really proud, and that's just like a really wonderful, it's just really wonderful. It's a cool environment to be in, and it's awesome to to see people that it feels like you've kind of come up with, going and succeeding, and at the end of the day, we're all friends.
I love that. It certainly is great. We're going to incorporate some fan questions now on the screen about the show. Ella here wants to know, Madelyn, how long did you film each day?
It depends. I mean, minimum we would shoot for like 12 hours. And then if we're running over or we're not getting what we need in time, it'll probably, it might go like over like 13, 14, 15 hours. And that's fine. It is what it is, as long as you're getting what you need to get for the scene, for the show.
Totally. This next question here from Legacy's Power wants to know, if you didn't play Sarah, which character would you love to play?
Oh, I feel like it'd be fun to play JJ.
That would
I
be super fun.
absolutely love JJ. Um,
Oh,
so much fun to see how much Rudy has playing JJ. Like it's such a fun role, and JJ's written so incredibly well, and Rudy adds so many really fun, interesting elements. But I think JJ would be really cool to play.
super, super cool. People were also writing in the comments if you thought that maybe JJ and Kiara could link up in season 3. What are your thoughts?
Look, I'm never say never. I think that look, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not a writer. I don't know. But I you never know. You genuinely never know. I'm not sure.
Oh my goodness. We'll just cross our fingers for that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
who knows?
exactly. This next question here, what is your favorite part about being Sarah?
I think maybe favorite part about being Sarah is that, she kind of I think what's really interesting about Sarah is that she kind of goes through this transition of like feeling like she has to conform to this idea of who she is based on her family and the people that she's grown up with, and she kind of bridges that gap to and comes to realize that family isn't necessarily the who you're born into. It's people that you can choose, and you don't need to conform to an idea of yourself.
Yeah.
You can always change your mind. And she has that freedom to choose, and she's not defined by any man in her life. And I really love that about her, and I think that's a really fun thing to play, and I genuinely do my best to try and play that out to the best of my ability, because I think it's very important.
It is, and that's a great example to people. When you look back at each episode, is there anything that you wish your character would have done differently this season?
I mean, thinking about the story as a whole, no. Because I also have to remember that Sarah is a 16-year-old teenager, and there are mistakes that will be made along the not even mistakes. There are there are things that happen on the way that they're not mistakes. They're just things that happen. They're things that happen in a moment, in a heated moment. Sometimes things don't work out the way you want them to, and that's life, and I kind of love that. And that there, nothing happens perfectly in the show. Like everybody kind of does their thing, and you kind of follow along. But no, I don't think there's anything that I would say that I wish she'd done differently.
There we have it. We're going to take just a couple of more here. One of the users wants to know, how do you become an actor? Or we can rephrase this as, what is your advice to someone who wants to get into acting and really follow your footsteps?
Yeah, I would say, there are a few websites that you can get on. Never pay anything up front. Never pay anyone up front who promises to like get you on a show or whatever for money. Don't do that. There are plenty of websites like Actors Access, or it's like Breakdown Services, and there are plenty of roles that you can always self-submit yourself for. Sometimes they do charge a membership fee, but that's fine. Like, they're very reputable. Go look for jobs as an extra or a background actor. And it gets you on set, and you get the experience on set. You can get a feel for if you like it or not, because sometimes there are long hours, and it is, sometimes some people find it boring. It is all something like, just get a feel for it, and it's completely, to your liking or not. But I would say just do things to beef up your resume, and get those credits on there, and submit yourself and put yourself on tape, and get into classes, and find a coach, and just work on it.
These are such great tangible tips. I know people are really appreciative of you sharing those because I feel like it's so hard, right? Like you want to get into something, but not knowing exactly what steps to take.
I
You
mean,
just broke it down.
I took great for me. So I mean, that's the best. That's the best I can do.
I love it. Let's talk, last but not least, there's users who are asking, how are you doing with your new job? You are in Europe filming Knives Out 2. What can you tell us? You are working alongside some of the biggest names, Daniel Craig. What can we expect?
It's crazy. It's been so absolutely mind-blowing and insane. I just feel really, really lucky, and I go to work every day and I just have like this moment of like, how did I end up here? And you know, we get on to set and I get to watch these absolute, you know, pros and like legends honestly do their jobs. And I mean, like, these are people that I've grown up watching and, you know, admiring. And so it's very surreal, but it's also incredibly, informative. And I feel like I'm watching them, and every single time I watch them, I feel like I'm learning something new. And, you know, I'm just feel like I'm trying to soak in as much as I possibly can. And then, you know, in the meantime, like, apply what I'm learning from them to my performance. So I feel like I'm learning on the job. And I just feel really lucky. I feel really, really lucky to be a part of this cast and in this story. It's incredibly fun. And I can't wait. I can't wait for people to see it.
So exciting. We're all definitely going to be watching when it comes out. And we have to ask the question that everyone wants to know: has season 3 of Outer Banks started filming yet?
No, it hasn't. But y'all will be the first to know when it is. It's confirmed. Y'all will know.
Oh my goodness. All right. We're going to be waiting. It's so hard to wait so many months when we want to know what happens next. But, you know, you just got to keep watching season 2 and keep on waiting.
No blooper reel, because why not?
Exactly. Madelyn, thanks so much for taking the time to be with us today. You answered all of our questions, and we so appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Much.
All right. Take care now. Bye.
Bye.
All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching Tomorrow by Today. This conversation with Madelyn and Cline will be saved on our feeds in case you missed some of it, so you guys can go back and rewatch. We'll be back here next week with a whole new guest next Friday. My name is Sydney Sadik. Thanks so much and have a great weekend. Bye now.